Ladies and gentlemen, in our daily lives, we often say things like, I am sad, I am in pain, I am successful, or this belongs to me. We cling tightly to this, I or self. But have you ever stopped to ask what exactly is this, I? Imagine a complex machine. If we disassemble every screw, every gear, every wire, and lay them out on the floor, where is the machine then? There is no machine, there is only a pile of disconnected parts. The machine is merely a name we use when those components are assembled and operating in synchronization. We humans are exactly like that. The Buddha taught that there is no independent, eternal, self, or soul. What we call I is actually just a combination of 5 constantly changing groups of elements, known as the 5 aggregates Panchakhanda. Aggregate means a collection or a grouping. Today, let's disassemble this human machine into its 5 parts to see how they operate. 1. Form Rupa Khanda, the physical group. The first aggregate is form. Simply put, this is our physical body. It includes flesh, bones, blood, breath, body temperature. In Buddhism, it is described as the combination of earth solidity, water cohesion liquids, wind motion breath, and fire temperature. This physical body is like the hardware of a device. It is constantly arising and passing away, changing from a fragile infant to a strong youth, then aging, getting sick, and eventually decomposing. 2. Feeling Sensation Vedana Khanda, the sensation group. The second aggregate is feeling. Whenever our senses come into contact with the external world, feelings arise. There are 3 main types of feelings. Pleasant feelings when eating good food or listening to beautiful music. Unpleasant feelings when injured or hearing insults. Neutral feelings, neither happy nor sad. Feelings are just passing signals. They come and go as quickly as a gust of wind. Nothing is permanent. 3. Perception Sana Khanda, the recognition group. The third aggregate is perception. This is the mind's ability to recognize, distinguish, and label things based on past experiences. For example, when you see something round, red, and fragrant, perception searches through your memory and tells you, ah, this is an apple. Thanks to perception, we recognize acquaintances, remember the way home, and perform professional tasks. However, perception can also deceive us. In the dark, seeing a rope, perception might say it is a snake, causing extreme fear. That is a delusion. 4. Mental Formations Volition Sankhara Khanda, the will reaction group. The fourth aggregate is mental formations. This is where karma is created. Mental formations are the reactions, intentions, and decisions within the mind. For example, your eyes see a beautiful object form, you feel pleasure feeling, you recognize it as the newest phone model perception. And at this moment, the desire to own it, the intention to take out money to buy it begins to arise. That is mental formation. It is the driving force behind our speech, actions, and thoughts. 5. Consciousness Vijnana Khanda, the fundamental awareness. The final aggregate is consciousness. This is the basic knowing, the most fundamental awareness. The eyes have the ability to see eye consciousness. The ears have the ability to hear ear consciousness. Consciousness is like a flashlight's beam. Whatever the flashlight shines on, that object appears. It doesn't judge whether it's good or bad, it is simply the presence of knowing taking place. As you can see, these 5 groups form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness operate continuously, coordinating so smoothly that they create an illusion, deceiving us into believing there is an I, who is the master of it all. But if we look closely under the light of the right Dharma, we will see the truth of the 3 core marks of existence: suffering dukkha, impermanence anicca, and non-self anatta. Because the 5 aggregates are constantly changing, arising and passing away, they are impermanent. This body ages, feelings of joy and sorrow come and go, thoughts shift continuously. Because they are impermanent and not under our absolute control, clinging to them will inevitably bring suffering. And most importantly, because these 5 groups are merely borrowed, conditionally arisen elements, there is absolutely no core self inside this as non-self. Learning about the 5 aggregates is not to hate life. It is to understand this machine. When happy, we know the feeling of happiness feeling aggregate is operating, but we don't become attached. When sad or angry, we know these are just mental formations arising and then passing away. We do not identify ourselves with that anger. 1. Managing emotions under pressure. Contemplating feeling and mental formations. In daily life, especially when facing work pressure such as a mechanical design drawing containing errors, an automation system failing to operate as expected, or a video project that took a lot of editing effort but didn't perform well, it is very easy to become angry and frustrated. Lesson: when anger arises, recognize it. This is merely an unpleasant feeling. Dukkha Vedana and a mental reaction Sankhara arising. Do not rush to identify with it and say, I am furious. But rather quietly think, there is anger passing through my mind. Detaching the I from the emotion helps you keep a cool head, allowing you to view technical problems logically and find optimal solutions instead of being controlled by emotions. 2. Letting go of attachment and ego. Practicing non-self. When receiving praise for a good outcome, the self often inflates into arrogance. Conversely, when criticized by a supervisor or partner, the self gets hurt, leading to wounded pride. Lesson: remember that all results are formed by a combination of various conditions, from personal effort and colleagues' support to software tools and timing. There is no independent self that single-handedly creates all success, nor is there an eternal self destroyed by criticism. Understanding this non-self helps you work with an open mind, ready to accept feedback to improve your expertise without the hindrance of ego. 3. Living fully and mindfully in the present. Applying consciousness. We often let our minds wander, worrying about future plans or regretting past mistakes. This is the deception of perception. Lesson: use consciousness, pure awareness, like a flashlight that only illuminates the present moment. When working on a design, be fully engaged with every detail. When having dinner with family, be completely present for the meal. Do one thing at a time, wholeheartedly. This mindfulness will cut off unnecessary anxieties, bringing inner peace and significantly boosting your work efficiency. Fully understanding the 5 aggregates is the first step to untying ourselves from afflictions, living a more mindful, peaceful, and liberated life. Thank you for listening. May you always be joyful and maintain mindfulness in every passing moment.